I get to live my purpose and my joy every day of my life professionally. So few people get to say that, and it's a gift that I am grateful for every minute of every day. This has been the greatest adventure, a stressful adventure, but absolutely a dream come true.
When I come here, I don't ever look at the clock. Every job I've had before this, I've constantly been clock watching and waiting for the next vacation. And to be able to have something that you're so passionate about that you go home and continue reading about exercise science, and you are so in love with it that it's also your leisure activity and it's also your social activity, right? Most of my friends are clients or participants here because they're my people. They're part of my community. When I first came out of school, you know, you do these vision boards in school and you're supposed to know exactly what you want to do when you come out. And the only thing I could come up with was that I wanted to serve underserved populations. Having been a child that was extremely overweight most of my life and into my adulthood as well, I knew that those places didn't feel comfortable even just for fat-bodied people. And I couldn't even imagine what it would feel like for visibly trans people or seniors or anybody that didn't fit that mold. So I knew I wanted to go in that direction. I just didn't know exactly how it was going to work. So when I first came out, I worked with seniors exclusively and did big groups of seniors, many of whom were facing having to leave their homes because their bathroom was upstairs and they couldn't do the stairs anymore and things like that. So that was very rewarding, but ultimately not exactly what I wanted to be doing. I moved into working with queer and trans populations long before I ever transitioned. I didn't really know why I was so driven to work with trans people until I did some real self-exploration and was like, wait a minute, this makes sense now. It's just amazing to be able to offer something that has typically not been accessible to people and make it feel like it's theirs. Not like they're taking up space in somebody else's, but that this is theirs and it's for them and it's about them. It's really amazing to be in a position where we can offer sliding scale to no-cost services, because a lot of people in the queer and trans community just don't have a lot of extra cash kicking around. So, you know, they're finding themselves being able to experience things they thought they would never be able to.
I think that in a lot of ways, entrepreneurship is art. It is creativity, and it is finding new solutions to everyday problems, often in ways that haven't been thought of before, because when you're creating something new and trying to start from scratch, you have to think outside the box. And you have to really think about your audience, your niche, your community, and what's needed, because the competition from larger organizations is so fierce that distinguishing yourself becomes very important. So there's a lot of art, there's a lot of humanity to entrepreneurship, there's a lot of grit, very long days, full and vibrant and amazing, but it's not for the weak of heart. We opened 2 days before Jason Kenney shut down all gyms and studios in the better part of Alberta for the pandemic. So we had this apprehensive feeling that it was going to happen, and also a moral responsibility to do the right thing and not contribute to an ongoing pandemic.
Who builds a business or starts a business in the middle of a pandemic? Right? We got a lot of pushback of people being like, why don't you just take a break? Like, this is a great opportunity to just take a break. And we're thinking, no, we have to pivot and we have to do it right now.
So we bubbled very quickly, and our families and children were raised very much together as sort of a singular family unit. And then the ecosystem of the facility sort of built around that.
One thing that Zita is the master of is figuring out solutions. Every time the government put a new policy in place or locked our doors again, she knew what to do. And I was a good little guppy and just kind of went through the motions and did what we needed to do. But we went from having people in studio to having the doors locked. And then we moved to outside training in tents that then blew away in the wind, and it got very scary. And then they let us back in the building, but we had to have everybody so far away from each other. So it was a constant pivot for those 2-3 years there. But I think that because of Zita's quick thinking and ability to organize these things, we survived. When we started investing a lot of money into audio and recording equipment, weights and resistance bands and stuff, people are like, what are you doing? Like, we're getting set to be in the worst financial position we've probably been in for as long as we can remember. And we were like, yes, but people need to move their bodies, right? And we can't do it here. So we have to make it so they can do it at home. And they don't have equipment, so we're buying it for them. We were putting together entire home packages. People were taking home sets of weights from 5 pounds to 20 pounds and a bench and everything they needed. And it's what kept us alive. People that were paying for unlimited group fitness here insisted on continuing to pay us even when they weren't accessing our online services, right? Because this place is more about family and community than it is about capitalism.
Our community has watched our children grow up. They've watched us grow up into this business. Most of our members who were with us during COVID have been with us since. We are very grateful to have really long loyalty and longevity with our people. And even when they do outgrow us, they stay in touch, because I think people really do start to feel like family. And I think in a queer dynamic, when you are already navigating complex intersections of what traditional family means, chosen family takes on a very different meaning. A lot of places will tell you we're all family here, but I think that that word chosen family lands differently when you're literally getting each other through the days.